All right, welcome to a very special episode of Coffee with Markus. Today, live from Clearwater Beach in Florida, where I'm spending the week with my mastermind group. So, as you can see, makeshift studio, but I wanted to make sure that I'm here today because it is the beginning of a new month, and I want to give you an update on my $500,000 account. So, want to let you know, where did I finish in September? Did I make money? Did I lose money? Did I hit my goal of making at least $15,000 a month? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, lots of things to go through, so let's get started.
This show is about real money and real trades. I'll show you the trading strategies that I personally trade, the tools that I use to trade my own accounts, and we will talk about the right mindset of a trader. Now, talking about mindset, I'm going to show you how to create SRC Profits. And SRC stands for systematic, repeatable, and consistent, because that is the key to long-term success in the markets. So, if you are sick of all the hype and empty promises, and you want to learn trading strategies that actually work, then click on like right now and let's get started.
Good. Here we are, and as promised today, we'll talk about my $500,000 margin account. It is update, I believe, 13. Oh dear Lord, unlucky number. How did I do? That's exactly what I'll show you in just a moment. But before we do this, just take a look of what's happening in the markets. And today, the markets are down. Again, I mean, as you know, September lived up to its reputation of being a bad September. So we finished down in the major indices, and today there seems to be a follow-through. So the Dow right now down more than 1%. If you're looking at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 actually down 1.5%. But what is really dragging the market down today is the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is down 2.5% right now. That is quite a lot. So why? What is happening here right now? Well, this morning in our stock market update, we talked about the 4 factors right now that could intensify the sell-off in October, and one of them being the yield. The yield. So what does this mean? It basically means how will shorter-term interest react. And here we are looking at the 10-year yield. And as you can see today, it is up 1.43%. So what does this mean? It means that interest rates started rising, meaning it gets more expensive to borrow money. And this is hurting growth stocks. So if you're just switching over for a moment to FinWiz, and I just heard this morning, it is FinViz, like visualize. I thought it was FinWiz, like financial wizard. It is not. But here you see clearly how it is divided. Up here, we have all the growth stocks that are being hit hard today. As you can see, Microsoft down 2.24%, Apple down 2.7%, Google 2.5%, Amazon 2.8%, and then you have the value stocks down here. And as you can see, the Dow, we talked about that the Dow is also down, but overall it is hanging in there, especially energy and utilities today. So what is happening with energy and utilities? Well, if you take a look here at the market and we look at crude oil, so crude oil is up today 2.24%, and this is why companies like Chevron, Exxon, Oxy Petroleum, all of them are doing well. All right, so now you know what is happening here in the market, and I'm leaning a little bit over because I don't have my fancy switcher with whom I can switch, or with which I can switch my scenes around. So I have to do this kind of manually on my keyboard, but it's all good. So let's talk about what you want to know. I mean, at least I think I want to know, because we titled this Coffee with Markus that this will be an account update. And if you're still here and watching, probably interested of what's happening to my account. So very quick story of what happened here. In the beginning of the year, on January 11th, 2021, I put $250,000 into an account, and I'm using it as a margin account. So what does it mean? $250,000 in cash are actually turning into $500,000 in margin. And this is what I've been trading since the beginning of the year. I just have something here popping up that I don't want to pop up. There we go. Easier. And the goal is to make $15,000 per month. So my goal is for the year to make $180,000. And now we are already in the final quarter of the year. So 3 quarters of the year are over, and where do we stand? So for me, important is to create SRC profits, systematic, repeatable, and consistent. And for this particular account, I'm trading the wheel strategy, which I think is a great strategy to trade a larger account with. So as I said, I started trading this account on January 11th, and here are the results thus far. So for January, made $21,000 and some change. February, $26,000. March, $16,000. April was the first month where I did not achieve my goal of making at least $15,000 a month. But as you can see, I was way ahead already, so we are good. Then May, just shy of achieving my goal by $951, but still almost $15,000. In June, I caught up, making $22,000. July, $16,000, $666. Well, what do you know? August, $14,000, so just shy of my goal. So this was totaling by the end of August, $146,456. So let's jump right over to the account and see where we stand today, talk about the positions, talk of what's happening. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, I am still in this freaking right trade, and we'll talk about right here as well as LVS. So we'll talk about all my positions here today, and oh my gosh, it looks like I'm losing a lot of money. Well, we'll talk about this. First of all, let's see the results. And as you can see, in terms of realized profits, I'm now at $160,396. Now, of course, there's also a lot of unrealized profits, and we'll talk about those. But what I've been doing for this account, in order to take money out, I've been looking always at the realized profits. So now I already forgot how much it was because I've been talking to you, so I need to switch over to the account again and see how much we have here. And again, it's a little bit makeshift, my little studio here. So we said 160,396. So 160,396. So this means, if this is the ending balance, how much money did I make in September? And this is where we use our handy-dandy calculator that we can bring up, slide it over here, and now we take this $160,000, 396 minus 146,456. So this means it is 13,940. And this means I missed my goal for the month of making at least $15,000. And there's certain reasons for this, but let me just plug this in here as I'm leaning over my iPad to get to my keyboard. But you see, overall, we're still doing good, because where should I be by the end of September? Well, let's calculate it. If my goal is to make $15,000 per month, and by the end of September we had 9 months times 9, means I should be sitting at $135,000. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I'm already overachieving my goal because I had a few good months. And you see, this is one important thing that as we talk about my account today, that I hope you realize that trading doesn't mean it just goes up in a straight line. There will be weeks that are awesome. There's days that are awesome. There's months that are awesome. And then there are months that are more challenging. So this is where, in general, you want to look overall, is your account growing? And you see, if we look back here, and if the account is growing, I mean, even if it is by $13,940, so I'm what, $1,060? Is that right? Math on live streams. Never a good idea. I hope that this is right. I'm pretty sure otherwise you will let me know in the comments. So I'm missing it by $1,000. And that's not really a big deal, because it seems that I'm ahead of the game by $15,000. It seems that, is that $15,000? It's $25,000. So I could take the whole October off and would still be right there where I want to be for the year. But let's talk about the position that I entered here today, the positions that are in my account, and so that you see some of the challenges. Again, the wheel is a very specific trading strategy, and it is not for everybody. And you might say, oh my gosh, with all these unrealized profits, this is kind of scary, and you look at all the unrealized profits and then you say, well, if I count all of this, you haven't made anything. Well, unrealized profits and losses are exactly that. They're unrealized unless you have to liquidate these. So we will see and we'll talk exactly the positions that I'm in right now. So let's actually switch over. And today was a fantastic day. As I told you, I'm here with my mastermind in Clearwater Beach, Florida. And in fact, as we are recording this, I'm in the event room and there are some of my mastermind members watching me here as I'm recording this live. It's really a bit odd because they're watching it on the big screen on YouTube, and I believe it is like a few seconds delayed. So they're hearing me, and then a few seconds later, they see it happening. Anyhow, so what do we want to talk about? My positions. So let's do this. Let's actually go back here and talk about it. Actually, let's switch over to the desktop again so that you see everything that is happening here right now. So I am currently in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. Usually I like to be in up to 5 positions at any given time. This morning, today, was just a great shopping day. And why do I say that it is a great shopping day? Well, as you know, according to the wheel strategy, I like to sell puts. So when you sell puts, you want the market to go down. By the way, if this is your first time here on the channel and you have absolutely no clue what this wheel strategy is all about, I'll link to a video in the description, and also probably here Nicole is linking to it in the chat, Nicole O'Martin, so that you can take a look at this. But let me explain it just in a nutshell of what we are doing here. So one of the trades that I entered today, for example, was on AMAT. And I'm just using this as an example to show you what this wheel strategy is all about. So for AMAT, I actually need to zoom out a little bit. This way the scale is right. So we sold a put with a strike price of 121. So we sold puts. And by doing so, we collected some premium. And I'll show you in a moment how much it is. So what does this mean? It means that if by Friday AMAT stays above 121, nothing will happen. I just keep the whole premium that I earned by selling puts today, and we move on. And I sell more puts. And this is what happened last week. A bunch of my positions expired worthless. However, if AMAT is dropping below 121, it means that now I need to buy AMAT shares for $121. And I have to buy 100 shares per one option that I'm selling. So let's actually jump over to the PowerX Optimizer so that I can show you exactly what I did today. So we're hopping over to the wheel, moving this here. Let me see if I can move this a little bit to the side. No, I can't. That is fine. So AMAT, as I said, sold the 121, expiring in 4 days. And for selling this, I received $544 in premium. Now, annualized, if you look at it for the whole year, this would be 41%. My criteria is I want to make at least 30%. And this would be based on the based on the margin, the buying power. So this means how 500,000 can actually turn into this 180,000 in profits. That is my goal for the year. So $544, I'll receive this regardless of what AMAT is doing right now by just placing this trade. So I am pretty sure that this trade will work out just fine. If not, I am okay owning AMAT. I mean, you might have heard about them. Applied materials have been around forever. Let's just take a look at a weekly chart here. And you see that I have been trading them in the past. Wow, at a strike price of 59. That's quite a while back. So this here for me is a value stock, and I don't mind owning it at $121. So you can see pre-pandemic, we were trading around $60, $65, maybe $70, dipped to around $40, and then started rallying and have been consolidating pretty much since, what do I want to say, March. So over the last 6 months, we have been in a range between 120 and 145, I want to say. So this is why I am okay owning this stock. This stock has pretty strong financials if we look at this. let me just look here at the annual earnings. You see, this is very typical for a growth stock. It is super stable in terms of profits and in terms of revenue, so therefore also very predictable. As far as I know, paying dividends, and let's just go back here and let's take a look at the quarterly statement. And it seems that during the pandemic, they have been doing really, really well. As you can see, in Q4, 1 year ago, 2020, revenue here slowly but steadily going up, and so do the profits. So therefore, this is a stock that I don't mind owning at all. So let's take a look at another one right now. It's ARKK, Cathie Wood's famous ARK Innovation ETF. And so here I did sell. Let's actually take a look at the account really quick. I did sell the 103. So here we go, sold the 103 put. And by doing so, let's just switch over to the PowerX Optimizer. Oops, there we go. Refresh. Boom. So this is a second trade that I took today. And by doing so, I collected 58 cents per premium, or $580, since I was trading 10 contracts. So thus far, 544 and 580 is what? A little bit over $1,100 just on these two stocks. So both of them I consider solid value stocks. I must say ARKK is maybe a little bit of a growth fund, investing in growth companies, but also very heavily invested in Tesla. And Tesla, I no longer consider a growth company. Tesla, at this point, for me, is a value company. So let's see, what else did we do? BX, got to talk about BX. So BX is a Blackstone Inc. So I'm again looking at a weekly chart here. And what did we sell here? We did sell the 107 put. So right now it's trading at 110, at 107. It would be probably here. So, and again, this here is a weekly chart. That's what you see here. The 1W means 1 week. So Blackstone has just a phenomenal run. Pandemic levels, maybe around 30, and then going up to 140. Super solid investment company, as you know. You might have heard about Blackstone, and has been retracing over the past few weeks. And now it can retrace even more, so we can go down to 107. This means from the current levels, we could go down. Where's the PowerX Optimizer? Here we go. So we could drop, where's my drop? Here, another 6%, and I would still be good. Otherwise, if I get assigned and I would own Blackstone at 107, I'm fine with this, and I'm selling calls against it. So this here generated another $531. So just between these, we're probably looking already at what, $1,600, $1,700 just for today. And again, this is premium that I keep regardless of whether I get assigned or not. So let's talk about a few others here. So let's actually talk about LVS. So LVS is a stock. Let's just go back and let's jump on it on the screen. So LVS, I'm looking at a weekly chart here. Initially, I traded it and was assigned. You know what? Let's just, for a moment, change this color, because this blue, a little bit difficult to read. Let's see. What should we change it to? Maybe red? Let's see if red is easier to read. Yeah, not really. I think we can leave this, but the text should be a different color. Let's make the text white for now, just so that you can see it. Might be a little bit better. Okay, now I'm obsessing about the line. Let's make this gray. How's that? Any good? Okay. So originally, I got assigned at a strike price of 58. And then, you might have heard it, LVS has its main business on Macau. And due to the rising COVID cases because of the Delta variant, this is where they are struggling right now generating revenue on Macau. And just when Macau loosened its restrictions and it went up, then there were some rumors coming out of Macau that the government is looking to regulate the gaming industry there, and this is where they dropped again. So that's when I flew a rescue mission. Well, what does this mean? A rescue mission basically means that if the stock is going down, let me just come to you full screen for a moment. As the stock is going down, if you are still bullish overall the stock, if you still want to own the stock, you're selling more puts, possibly getting assigned more shares, and therefore lowering your cost basis. And this is exactly what I did. So let's jump back on the iPad. So I sold more and was able to lower my cost basis from originally 58 to already 51.42. Now the cost basis is just the amount of money that I spend on the shares. It does not include the premium. So if you take a look at the premium that I made on LVS, so let's just go over there for a moment and need to jump around, share this. Then you'll see here, the premium that I've made thus far is just shy of $7,000. So I could subtract this, but I don't do it. I just look at the cost basis. This is what I like to do. And I mean, everybody does it differently. And so in my book, when it comes to trading, there's not necessarily a right or wrong. When it comes to trading, come back there, it is, are you making money or are you losing money? If you're making money, I mean, that's one thing. If you're making money as a trader, I would never criticize you. Obviously, you're doing something right? Especially when you're generating SRC profits, systematic, repeatable, and consistent. However, if you're losing money, then it might make sense to listen to somebody who's making money and see what are they doing. Anyhow, so trading for me, right or wrong, should you trade iron condors or butterflies or colors or, I don't know, credit spreads? If you're making money with it, by all means do. I've tried it over the years. I failed to make money with it. So I'm not a good trader when it comes to butterflies or straddles and strangles. I tried, trust me on this one. Even calendars, not the biggest fan of this, but here, this wheel strategy worked out for me. Anyhow, what do I want to say? Let me come back to the iPad. Got distracted here for a moment. So anyhow, today I sold more puts because when I'm doing these rescue missions, I'm doing them in 1/3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So think about it like a soldier still behind enemy lines, right? And now you're sending some people, and if this doesn't help, you're sending more, and then you're sending even more. So this is my idea. So the idea here is, maybe it's not the best example. In my head, it is. So the idea is to keep lowering my cost basis so that just a small bounce, very similar to what we saw here, will help me to get out of this trade. So in this where today we sold some 35 puts. So I did this right here. So we sold some more 35 puts. And when I say we, I've said trading with my mastermind here live in Clearwater Beach. And I think that many who are in this LVS position have actually done this. Now, when I do this, I would lower my cost basis to probably, we can calculate if you have some time, but probably around maybe $46, right? And this is much more achievable. Actually, you know what? We'll calculate this in a moment. I just want to run through the trades here so that we can do this. Okay, so going back to PowerX Optimizer, what did we do here with this LVS position? And here we go. So LVS sold the 35 for 20 cents and collected another $580. So, I mean, today was a pretty good day to collect premium. So let me just use my handy-dandy calculator, this time on the trusted iPhone, to calculate how much money I made today. 531 plus 544 plus, let's zoom in, 580 plus, oh, another 580. Okay, good. So that's 2,235. And here's the cool thing. This is money that I already collected. So I don't need to do anything until Friday. See, that's what I love about this strategy, because all we need to do is to see on Friday, did we dip below the strike price or not? If we did, even then there's nothing to do on Friday because we have to look at it on Friday afternoon. So then in this case, we would sell calls next Monday, in a week from now. So kind of a super lazy strategy. And this is what I like about this, because then I can go on with my life and don't have to be glued to the screen all day long. Okay, but two more positions here that we need to go through so that we don't forget about them. One of them is JWN. I'm switching back to a daily chart. JWN Nordstrom got assigned at 30. We were selling already. A lot of premium here. I need to see JWN. I can actually show you. I already collected more than $10,000 in premium on JWN. Let's jump over to the account. There you see JWN collected a little bit over $10,000 in premium. So this has been good. Got assigned at 30. It looked like last week, I get called away because I was selling calls, and then we had this drop. Who are we blaming for this drop? Bed, Bath, and Beyond. BBBY. There we go. Why? They reported earnings last week, and they said, well, we as retailers, we struggle. We have really problems with the supply chain. So the supply chain problems, here they are. And we also had a little bit less foot traffic, so therefore we are struggling. And then everyone says, oh my gosh, there's one retailer. I mean, it's Bed Bath and Beyond. But Bank of America double downgraded Kohl's, KSS. So this is where, in this wake, JWN Nordstrom got dragged down. Now, today, obviously, as the markets are selling off, there's not much to do. So as the markets are selling off, JWN, surprisingly, look at this, surprisingly strong, right? I mean, we talked about this. The Dow down 1%, S&P down 1.5%, NASDAQ down 2.5%, and here only down 0.4%. So that's pretty good for JWN. In fact, today at some point it was positive. So on a down day, it's good for selling puts. Selling puts, yay. This should be a really big smiling face. It's not a good day for selling calls. Calls are better on an up day. So just rule of thumb, today was a fantastic day to sell puts. When the markets bounce back, and they will, trust me on this one, then we can sell calls again. So not much to do here today on this existing position. And then there is right. So this is one of the mistakes that I make, and this is haunting me. In fact, last week it looked good. So there were rumors that they might have struck a deal with Foxconn. And this was on Thursday. And the price jumped up to $9. And it looked like, now we can go to the moon. But what happened then? The deal got announced. And this is a classical example from buy the rumor, sell the facts, because on Friday, right dropped dramatically. Today, it's also being dragged down, and it's overall, if you look at the EV market, so if you look, for example, Tesla, still surprisingly strong hanging in there, but if you look at this morning, they had record deliveries. I believe that's what they reported over the weekend. So they opened here and then reversed. So it's also quite a drop. And if you look at others, like, for example, NIO, as you can see, down 5%. Workhorse is down, 6%. Who else do we have? Fisker is down. Oh, Fisker is up 0.7%, 0.007%. When I looked earlier, it was down. Anyhow, so in Ride, still the fallout, because nobody really knows, and even I don't know, what does this partnership between Foxconn mean? So after being super hopeful last week, where, as you can see, it has been going nicely up, right now, boom, another setback. This stock just can't catch a break. I have a very specific plan for this. Today we won't have time to talk about this, but I promise in one of the upcoming Coffee with Markus, I will tell you my very specific plan for this. In fact, I talked about it with my head coach, Mark Hodge, just after lunch today. So right before I went live Coffee with Markus, and I said, okay, here's my plan. And he said, I like it. Hey, I got his stamp of approval. That's something, right? Okay, so these are the positions that I'm in today. And I mean, markets are closing here in 1 minute from now, so we'll see what happens where they close. But overall, it's looking good, even though for today, at first, it might look really grim. Ding, 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 ding. Don't know if you could hear this, but this means that the markets are now closed. So I'm actually pretty happy with my trading today because, as you can see, it looks pretty good, annualized, making around 40% on Blackstone, 41% on AMAT, 41% on ARKK, and let's slide down, 42% annualized on LVS. So very happy with this one. So this is where we are, and this is in terms of the account update, and I will answer your question because I see that there's many questions and comments, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So let's just go back really quick to the desktop, bring it up. For those of you who have been joining later and wondering, how did I do in September? Well, just shy. $1,000 were missing for me to hit my goal, but I'm still overachieving my goal for the year. So I'm very, very confident that by the end of the year, I will have made $180,000 in realized profits. And let's see what's happening over the next couple of months in the final quarter here with my unrealized profits. By the way, is this interesting at all to you if I'm running through my positions? If it is, do me a favor and click on like, because then I know I'll do more of the videos that you like. If you don't like me running through the positions, if you would rather me talking about something else, just let me know in the comments what you would like me to cover, and I'll be happy to look at this, prepare something for you, and then talk about this. All right. Now, let's see. There are a bunch of comments, and I really appreciate you being live here. Kyle says, I felt I was trying to catch a few falling knives today. I don't know. You see, often what happens is that the markets, let me actually go back here and let me show you something super interesting as I'm going to a 5-minute chart. Hold on. I want to actually show it to you on AMAT, and I'm switching back to my handy dandy iPad here. So often, what happens is that the markets, especially on a Monday, that they're selling off in the first 30 minutes. And that after 30 minutes, you start seeing that they turn around. Again, here we're looking at a 5-minute chart. And that's what's often happening. However, here today, if you're looking at the NASDAQ, it kept falling. And when it does this, usually, the markets find some support around 11 o'clock. Which happened right here. And this is 11 o'clock Eastern time. So right there, markets found some support. So after the initial slide, they were just going down. So I entered most of the trades, I want to say maybe 15 minutes after the opening, when it looked like markets would consolidate a little bit. See, right here, we had markets going up just a little bit. Well, they kept falling, so you might say, well, the timing was bad. If you had waited, you could have gotten more money. And we talked about this in the mastermind. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? In hindsight, we're all the greatest traders, aren't we? But at that point where I saw the markets, I saw these opportunities to make 40%, 41%, 41%, 42% annualized. And I'm very, very happy with that. So, I mean, overall, in a day, making with this strategy, $2,235, I'll take it. But I can understand why you would feel this way here. Okay, cool. Let's see. What else do we have here? Kyle says there's an old adage in the market, though, that usually if Monday starts with a big sell-off, it typically spends the rest of the week rebounding. Hope it's true this time. You see, I think all the old adages, I think they're out of the window. You know, this sell in May and go away. I did a video on this. I mean, if you would have sold last May and went away, you would have missed the greatest rebound ever. Even this year, if you would have sold in May and went away, you would have missed the greatest rebound ever. So be a little bit careful. And these days, markets are more complex than they have ever been because we're all more connected. I mean, these supply chain issues, I mean, they often start in Asia. So we kind of have to pay attention of what is happening in Europe, what is happening in Asia. I remember in the beginning of my trading career when I was still in Germany, trading the German markets, right? I mean, the German markets would in the afternoon literally wait what happens until the American markets open. And then the whole world would look to the US markets. I mean, this was back in the days. What do we do now? when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is, what did Asia do? What did Europe do, right? So we're way more interconnected, Kyle. We'll see. We'll see. I do believe that we'll see a rebound. In the NASDAQ, though, right now, we are down a little bit over 8% from the recent high. I wouldn't be surprised. Last October, we went down a little bit over 10%. So I wouldn't be surprised if we dip down another 2%. And just looking here at a chart to give you a little bit of perspective, this means that for the NASDAQ, switching back here to a daily chart, it means that we would probably go down to 14,000 right here. So it's not that far, right? And this could definitely happen here. Anyhow, good comments. Appreciate the comments. So let's see if there are any questions regarding these positions that I have in here. All right. So, Jim and I, we have a friendly competition here because Jim and I, we are always really, really close in terms of our P&L. So Jim, I believe that you're probably somewhere around where I am right now. Aren't you at around 160,000, 165,000? And Jim, I appreciate your willingness to share your results here with this strategy. And it's kind of interesting when you say, I only made $10,800. Come on, you're still doing really, really good. Okay, let's see. Craig says, bigger picture, the S&P is down 15% from the last significant low a year ago. I don't know. I mean, overall, we were still very healthy up for the year. I mean, for the year, in the NASDAQ, we're still up 12% for the year. In the S&P, we're still up 14% for the year to date. Okay, good. Let's see. What else? Carl says the PXO update with the link to relevant news articles is awesome. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, and we have the next update coming, and it is super exciting. So we just released 2.4. 2.5 will even be even more exciting. I'll tell you more about this. Okay, so let's see. John Griffith, what live stream software do you use? This is actually called Ecamm Live. It's software for Mac only. That's why I use. Usually I have a fancier setup studio, but here, makeshift studio going live. But I didn't want to miss it today, especially since it is the beginning of the month and you probably have been waiting or not for an account update. I don't know. Might be or might not be. Okay. So let's see. Jason, so good to see you here. Jason, I still owe you an answer. I haven't forgotten about this. So Jason is actually in our private group in Mighty Networks and recently asked a very interesting question. So Jason is the young man, I talked about Jason a few weeks ago, who was trading an account when the parents said, stop trading, don't trade, right? And I gave Jason my 2 cents, what I think, and there's a video. We can link to it in the description if you want to see it. And Jason had a super interesting follow-up question. And just to tease you a little bit, so Jason said, hey, I'm still in college, but I got a job. And as part of this job, I can set some money aside. So what should I do? Should I actually set the money aside and invest it in an ETF, so more investing and an index fund, or should I use this money and trade? So I'll give you my answer in an upcoming Coffee with Markus, and the answer might actually surprise you. Okay. Anyhow, good. So Jeff said, I can close almost every one of my position at break even. Pretty tempted to do this. How things are going? Why? How are things going? What do you think? How are things going? Do you think we will keep falling down? There's definitely a possibility. But you see, I'm okay being assigned. If you're not, if right now you look at some of the stocks and say, oh my gosh, I hope that I don't get assigned. What did I even think about getting into these stocks? Then do it, right? I mean, but if you have solid value stocks, I would just say, hey, no problem here. Okay, yeah, Sama says, follow your plan. Don't be scared. Markets turn around. Markets are really, really choppy. Surprisingly, the VIX did not jump as much today as I thought it would. Good. So selling puts, you're wanting the price to go up, Gary. That is absolutely correct. Well, not quite. Let's actually take a look at this because it's a very, very good question here. So let's maybe go back to AMAT since it's the first here in the alphabet. So see, I sold the 121 around here. So what does it mean? Yeah, I want stock prices to go up. That is okay. I want stock prices to go sideways, or they can even drop $4 more. They can drop $4.20, and I'm still okay doing this. So that's a beautiful thing. You see, this is why I love the wheel strategy. You don't have to be right about the direction. So Gary, you don't have to really hope that the stock goes up. You can say, I'm fine if the stock goes down or goes sideways, or even if it goes down. And this is where in the PowerX Optimizer, if you take a look at this, you see exactly, it calculates and tells me, so AMAT can go down another 5%, and I will be just fine. This is what I love about it. Okay, anyhow. Good. When you sell puts, you want the market to go down? No, I want to sell puts when the market is down. Okay, so PKO, sorry if this was misunderstanding. When the market is dropping, that's when you can get maximum premium for selling puts. If the market is going up, that's when you want to sell calls. Okay, now afterwards, as I just said, you want the market when selling puts to either go up, sideways, or slightly down. So sorry if this was misunderstanding. Okay. Cool. What else? So PKO sold puts in NNOX and CHPT today. Okay. Are these stocks that you want to own? I don't know anything about NNOX. What is NNOX? Let's see. Let's take a quick look at this. Why not? I don't know what these guys are doing. So NNOX. NanoX Imaging, health technology. Don't know much about them. So if this is a stock where you are fine owning this, then by all means. ChargePoint, that was my favorite. I saw it popping up this morning. We talked about this. So if you look at ChargePoint and you're looking at a weekly chart, you see that they're coming from nothing, went up to $50, went down, bounced back, and have been in a downtrend pretty much since June. So for me, just looking at the chart, I would be a little bit careful there. PKO. So it wasn't really my favorite stock, but hey, if you like these stocks, good. All right. So let's see what else. So Eagle Owl says the unrealized P&L keeps on dragging. Yeah, I mean, when you're stuck in a position, you're stuck in a position. I mean, you try to lower your cost basis, and then at some point, the idea here is that the stock rebounds. This is why you need to look at the stock and see if this is still a solid growth stock. And I'm very, very confident here with JWN and LVS, really liking this. Not the biggest fan of Ride, but here, as I said, I will reveal my plan of what to do with Ride here in one of the upcoming Coffee with Markus. Might be the next one, might be in 2 from now. I'll see, but I'll definitely let you know. All right, cool. What else? How much margin are you comfortable with trading naked puts? Well, here's the deal. With $500,000 in margin, I divide this into 5 positions of 100,000 each. Yes, I have 6th position right now, but that is okay. So I'm allocating basically the whole 100,000 that I would need if I had to buy the position. Let me just show you what I needed to do here. So for example, you see, if I get assigned AMAT, the amount to buy would be 96,000. If I'm getting assigned in ARKK, the amount to buy would be 103,000. The amount to buy would be 101,000. And you see, this is where I have the buying power set to 500,000 and up to 5 positions, which means around 100,000 per position. Does this make sense? Okay. So even though the margin is actually less, I'm mentally allocating that much to this trade. All right. So, how do you feel on 30%? Don't know, but overall I feel really good about my trading profits. I can tell you that. So to rescue your trade, you are buying more stocks. No, not necessarily. First of all, I want to make sure that I still like the company, that the underlying fundamentals are solid, and then I'm selling puts, hoping to get assigned more shares. Okay, but I collect premium as I do that. Okay, so Joe said, I thought you said not to launch a rescue mission until the stock has dropped at least 30%. That is absolutely correct. What are you referring to? LVS? I mean, LVS I got assigned at 58. So if I got assigned at 58, I'm absolutely fine flying a rescue mission at 35%, at $35, which I'm doing right now. All right. So David asked about, right, I told you I do have a plan, and I will tell you the plan. It just takes a bit longer, so we probably spend 10, 15 minutes on this plan so that I can show it to you in detail. But I do have a plan, absolutely. So question here from BMW Man. Gotta love this screen name. Is the PowerX Optimizer platform available for download? No, it's an online tool, so you just need any browser. And that's pretty cool because this way it works on any computer, tablet, or even your phone, right? As long as you have a browser that is called Safari, Chrome, or Firefox. It does work on Edge, but Edge is a little bit edgy. So Firefox, Chrome, and Safari are, as long as you have a browser, you can access it. So very, very cool. Okay. So Michael says, in the late months, you also showed that you wired out earned money. Did you stop doing it? No, I'm still doing this. There was a little glitch that when I showed my account of where I wired it out, that there was a possibility to see what account it is. So this is why I stopped doing it. So something has changed there. So I'm not showing the actual wires, but trust me, I'm still doing this. But there's a reason, and it's just for my personal protection and security. Oh, there we go. All right. So Progetto says, at the end of the year, how do you consider your results, with or without unrealized profits? I'll show you exactly what we are doing as we're getting closer to the end of the year. So if you're enjoying this, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. This way you don't miss any of the videos. Okay, MGMC says, you're currently assigned 3 out of your 5 positions. If the other 5 positions assigned, how would you fly your rescue missions? Would your margin be tapped out? No. Then I would tap into portfolio margin. If you can't afford portfolio margin because you need an account of at least $175,000 to $250,000, there's other ways. We can talk about this in an upcoming Coffee with Markus. Okay. Jeff said, is there a right anonymous group? I'm pretty sure that somewhere on Reddit there is. I mean, on Reddit there are so many groups. I'm pretty sure that there is one. Anyhow. So Thumbs Up Down Runner says, what are your thoughts on rolling your puts? I don't want to roll my puts, and here's why. I want to get assigned. I want to own the stock at this price. You're only rolling your puts if you don't want to get assigned. Is this making sense? That's why. Okay, good. Riggies, I haven't been following you lately. What happened to your right position? Did you just join us? You just talked about it. So if you just join us, just rewind a little bit of the video and you'll see exactly what is happening here. I just talked about this a few minutes ago. All right, cool. When will the FUD end? Who knows? Who knows? Joe is asking, is there a special deal on PowerX at the moment? I'm not quite sure. Do me a favor and contact the office. I usually have a number. It's probably in the description here. And see if we do have any specials going on. I'm not quite sure, but the team can tell you. Just text, call, or email them at support@rockwelltrading.com, and they can let you know. Oh, there. Okay, Nicole, thank you so much. There it is. Call or text the office. There we go. Ray, really appreciate it. Good job on the makeshift studio. It's what it is. And on Thursday, we'll do this again. But hey, you can see my screen. You can hear my voice. You can see me. That's all we need, right? Don't need to have the fancy background. Anyhow, hey, gosh, time is flying by when you're having fun, isn't it? I just realized that we are a few minutes over time. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click on like if you would like to see more videos like this. I have a few videos popping up right now, and these are probably videos that are related to the wheel strategy. So Martin is usually taking care of this. He'll have the right videos popping up. Watch these videos, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.